have no idea if I am live or how's this going. So if you guys hear something or if anybody is here, please talk to me. Actually, I'm hoping that most of you will catch the stream in a replay because this is my first time doing this and I have no idea how this whole thing works. So as of right now, this is a work in progress. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what's happening here. I am not 100% sure though. But the purpose of this stream is to kind of walk you through the process of building a shortcut with me. So I'm trying to build a shortcut that would identify the song that is playing currently, and then it would take that song from the Shazam action that Google offers, Shazam action that shortcuts offer. This is an inbuilt action, so everybody who has iOS 14 something should have this action. So if you have this action, you should be able to identify songs using shortcuts. And I'm trying to build a shortcut that will identify that song and will open that song on a different application. So if you're using something like Apple Music, that's a very simple shortcut. You identify the song and you can pull that song out of that action and go directly into Apple Music and start playing that song. But I'm not an Apple Music subscriber, so my choice of music is YouTube Music, so we're going to be doing that in this video. But I'm also going to talk to you about how to do a similar thing if you're using Spotify. So let's see what I have over here first. So let's go to shortcuts. Actually, let's not go to shortcuts. Actually, let's not go to shortcuts, but instead we'll plan out what this shortcut should do first. So there's this amazing application that I'm using. It's called Note. If you have not heard of this application, it's a free application for iPads to take notes. It's amazing. Send a new note. Let's take a blank one. So our first action is going to be identifying the song, obviously. So after we have identified the song, the next step is to pull that information. By pulling that information, I primarily mean that you want to take that information that the Shazam action gives you in shortcuts and try to turn it into something that's more usable and something that's more uniquely identified that is not as uniquely identified. So the basic idea is you take the song that comes out of Shazam, find the title, find the artist, and once you have that information, you take that information and perform a Google search with it. But based on what music service you're doing, so based on what music service you have or what music service you're going to be using, we're going to be basically searching along with that keyword. So if I'm using YouTube Music, so let's say I'm playing a song called, what song do I know of right now? I can't think of a song. Wow. Let's say we're thinking of a song, Despacito. I don't know why I thought of that song. But if I search for Despacito, I want to search for Despacito and YouTube Music, so I can get a link to YouTube Music in my Google search results. So we'll be Google search with our Shazam result and our streaming service. So the reason that I'm doing this activity of like noting down what the plan is, so if while making shortcuts we realize that this idea does not make sense or it's not possible to do via shortcuts, we can take this idea and kind of modify this idea. We don't lose our track, especially when you're building shortcuts that are much longer or much more complicated than this one. It's highly beneficial to have a plan. So if you go for like a shortcut that you're like, hey, this shortcut has a bunch of menu items, if this shortcut has a bunch of if and then conditions, and especially with the ones that have otherwise and then there's an if condition inside those, so the nested if conditions, those definitely benefit from having a plan before jumping into the shortcut. So this is where I am. I'm going to do a Google search, and Google search will give me a bunch of URLs that will be associated to that streaming service and that song. Since Google search is as good as it is, I think the first thing that will show up with the name of the song and the link to the website will be my result, will be the song that I'm looking for on the service that I'm looking for. So we want to pull the first result that matches the song and link to media service. Okay, so this will give us a link, and I'm guessing when you do YouTube searches, you definitely get a link to a YouTube music link, but in case we don't get a YouTube music link, we're going to extract the URL, and modify it to be a YT music URL. This should do the job. This should definitely give you access to majority of what we're trying to do. So if I take a giant look at it, we're going to identify the song, we're going to pull the information from the Shazam action, and then we're going to do a Google search with that result. From the Google search, we're going to get the streaming service, and we're going to do our Google search with the streaming service in our name. And then we're going to have the results come in, and we're going to take the first result and get the URL from that. And then the next action should be just open the URL in the YT music app. This seems simple enough. This is basically going to listen to a song, identify that song, and send it back to us into the YouTube music app. This is ideal for most scenarios where music is playing and you want to listen to it. One of the benefits that you get from using a service like this or using shortcuts like this is if the music is playing inside your iPhone, or if it's playing on your iPhone, let's say you're watching something on TikTok and there's a background music and the sound that is linked to it is not the actual sound that you're trying to identify, you can still use this shortcut. The way this would work is you jump back to the shortcut, you press the shortcut button, and you get back to the application that you were listening to the music from, and this will make sure that identifying that song is still possible, because the Shazam action listens to the music that is being played on your iPhone as well. So that's the hope. Let's see how that goes. Just for the sake of it, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this thing. Let's crop it to the important parts. Alright, that seems like a decent enough shortcut. I'll save it to photos. Give me 1 second. So if I open the OneDrive app, this contains all my apps and stuff. So if I go to the OneDrive application, I should have uploaded the photo. So if that photo has been uploaded, I can add an image on the viewer here. So let's take a look at it. Okay, let's just go find that image. Camera roll. Okay, that didn't show up. Weird. Sorry about this. I'm just trying to find the plan that we just created on my computer so we can kind of like put it here on this window. This is a giant thing. I don't want it to be that big, but let's see what I can do. I'll make it smaller. I'll put it right here for everybody to see, whoever cares about what we're doing. If you jump into the stream late, this should help. I guess I'm not. I'm not guessing most people are here right now. It's be something that they come back to later. So here we are. All right, so that's our plan. That's our plan right there. So let's get back to the shortcuts and create a new shortcut. So let's start with creating a new shortcut. And again, our first plan is going to be to identify the song. So identify song right there. Identify song, and then we got Shazam. So if you see, Shazam basically just shows you what's happening when you run it by default. Ideally, you don't want it to be that case. So I'm just gonna like stop this action if I can. Cannot stop it. So I'm gonna turn off show when run. So if right now, if I run it, it's gonna run in the background and there's no UI that shows up. So let's turn that off. Keep the error when not recognized there, so we know if something goes wrong, what has happened. The next action is to kind of like identify the song. So I really want to just do a text variable that's going to pull what the song is. So I'm just going to put a text variable there. So this text variable is going to pull from Shazam Media, and Shazam Media should be a text-based variable. So if I play a song in the background, let's hope I don't get demonetized for this. So I'm going to play a song that I believe is not protected by any copyright. So let's go to one of my favorite artists. Alright. I know his recent songs are copyright protected, but his older ones are not. So let's go back to this song. So it's gonna listen to the song that is playing right now. I'm gonna mute the volume so there's no volume being recorded, but it's listening to the song that is playing in the background. You can see how I can talk on top of it and it has still identified the song properly. And now that we have this song, we're gonna search this on Google. So usually when you search on Google, anything that you search, let's say we search for Shazam, you can see how the URL is encoded. So if I go back here and copy the URL, I go back to the Shortcuts app and paste this URL here. You'll be able to see that the URL has a certain way of being organized. So there's a general google.com, and then there's a question mark, and then there's the query that has been described. So it's like a Shazam and IE and all that stuff. So we're just going to remove the other parts, and we're going to keep this part in our shortcut. So let's keep it here, and let's remove Shazam because we want to add our variable here. Before we can add our variable, we want to make sure our variable is encoded to be a URL. By that I mean if there's a space, it will be replaced by another %20 and a %. You know how when you type something in a URL, you don't put spaces, you put it in a certain way. So we're going to make shortcuts do that. So we're going to do URL encode. And we're going to put it right after our new variable that we just created. We can rename this variable if we want to. Let's rename it to be song name, song details actually. And now that song details has been organized or encoded into a URL format. So we're going to put that here. Actually, not here, just at the very end. We're going to put it here. And since we're doing it for YouTube Music, we're going to do it with a plus sign. Where's the plus sign gone? I can't find plus. What the fuck? Plus sign, and we're gonna search with YouTube. This will create a new URL. As you can see, after the song runs, it's still playing that music, right? Yep, it's still playing that music in the background, and Shazam should be able to identify it. Despite the fact that I'm talking over it, it should not be affected at all. So you can see that the song called Koi Baat Nahi, which is what is playing right now, has been identified, and then there's this plus YouTube at the end of it. So if I search for this, or if I search for this right now, I will get a bunch of results. But I don't want that to happen in my shortcut. In my shortcut, I want the shortcut to kind of search all of that in the background and pull the information. So I'm just gonna go get contents of URL. This will be a great action at this point in time because it's gonna actually run this thing in the background. And for the method, we're gonna just use get, and this is gonna pull all the information from the web page for us. So let's after we gave all the information, we got the URLs that we needed, and it's not working the way I thought. I should be able to see the URL in this page, but has not happened. So I'm guessing something went wrong. So let's run it again and see if it runs this time. Again, that has not worked, so I'm going to change the method to post and see if that works. It shouldn't work, but let's see what happens. Alright, well, obviously post didn't work, so I'm just gonna go with get, and I'm gonna try to figure it out from here. So, well, this is the part of building a shortcut that does not get shown when you actually share the shortcut, and I think anybody who's interested in shortcuts should become capable of building their own shortcuts. Give me a second, please. Alright, so this is what we're getting. So let's think about it for a second. So we're getting to a point where we cannot see the links that we should be seeing. So what's our best opportunity here? We could just start building the shortcut such that the links are being identified already. There is a possibility that it will not work, but there is also a possibility that it's working in the background. We just cannot see it. So we can click on, we have an action that says get URLs. So let's go to get URLs and put that in here. So this should get us the contents of the URL. Let's run it. I know this is a painstaking process, and obviously that did not work because it just brought back that action. Let me see. There was a get contents of a web page action. Let's see if that is what we should be using. Get contents of a web page. Instead of get contents of a URL, we just we want to open the web page. We don't care about the contents as individual items on the content yet. We just want to open the web page, and we should be able to get the contents based on that. So let's do that. I know it's kind of an annoying process to just have to wait and watch it, but this is how you build a shortcut. You just we got a error message, or actually a notification source allow for google.com, which is a good sign because this shows you that it has been able to access the website. That is what we're looking for. That is perfect. So this basically shows you a bunch of links, and now we want to get URLs out of the input. So let's click on get URLs from input. This will basically take all the links that are available on that web page and make them into a list on our shortcut, so which will be easily accessible for us afterwards. Again, this is going to take a while because it's actually trying to identify the song that's playing in the background. The whole playlist is continuing playing, but since I'm not playing the song out loud, I don't have to worry about anything else. And that's also one of the features of the Shazam action. And as you can see, I got 38 items on this list. And you can see some of the items are actual videos. So you can see that is a video, the second icon, the second link. And the second link is the video. I don't see a whole lot that are videos. Let's go further down. There should be something that comes from youtube.com. Yeah, so this one comes from youtube.com. This one comes from youtube.com. So there's a whole lot of URLs that we've gotten here that are useful to us. So let's see what we can take from this list that is helpful to us. So we're going to identify from the entire list, we're going to identify what items have the youtube.com in its URL. So we're going to take repeat with each. Repeat with each is a simple action that basically does not require you to give a number. Instead, it takes the number of items that are available in your previous action, so which will be the contents of web page, which is a list. So if the list has 10 items, repeat with each will run 10 times. So let's go to repeat with each, and this should give you an option to just put in multiple actions in it. So now we want to do get items from list. Get item from list. Get item from list. Get item from list is just like, it's gonna take whatever actually that's not what I should do. I want to get an item that contains something, so let's search for contains and see what do we have. Contain, repeat with each, repeat with so that's not what we're looking for, but let's see what happens. We'll put an if condition. If get URLs from web page, the URL that is identified, get URLs from web page. Now we're gonna go and repeat with each. Actually, let me just go back a little bit. So we're gonna use the undo action, which is here. So that's super helpful with like this buggy shortcuts mess that is happening with iOS 15. So repeat with each item in URL, and now we're gonna put an if condition here. So we'll take the if and we put it under repeat. So it's going to take the repeat item and it's going to check if it contains youtube.com. Now let's take it all small just to be sure nothing gets messed up. youtube.com. The YouTube got autocorrected. Why? YouTube. I'm going to take this Y and make it small as well. If it contains youtube.com, I don't want to see anything right now. I don't want to do anything. I just wanted to show the result because I want to make sure that what it's pulling is the correct item. One of the best actions while building a shortcut is the show result action, because this kind of like shows you what's happening in the background, and it makes it much easier to kind of proceed from this point onwards. So just to like go back here, we can see that we are at our Google search with the streaming service, and now we're trying to match the first result that contains our media streaming service. In my case, it's youtube.com, so as soon as I find one that is based on youtube.com, it's going to pull that result, and then I'm going to say stop the shortcut at that point in time, because I don't want it to be continuing running for 100 million actions, 100 million URLs when there is no reason for it to do that. So I'm just going to say stop running shortcut. So let's run this again. There's a song still playing in the background by the same artist, and it's going to take a minute to identify the song, and then it's going to store that in our song details variable, which is just a text variable. And then it's going to do the Google search as we have planned it to do, and it's right there right now. It's getting the contents of the URL. You can see we've found one URL that contains youtube.com, and it is a watch. So you can see it says youtube.com/. So right here, it says youtube.com/watch, which is extremely helpful for us because if it says watch, that means this is an actual link to the YouTube. So we click on done. So this tells you that it will pull the URL that we need it to, but now it's our responsibility to take that URL and turn it into something that's more identifiable. That's something that we can get into YouTube Music. So let's see what happens if I split the URL with just a split by a custom separator, and our separator in this case is going to be a /v. As we saw, that's what was happening. What we still need are stop shortcut action, because we don't want it running for 1500 times, but I wanted to still show my result. So it's going to show the result twice. It's going to show the URL it has found, and then it's going to show what it has found after splitting the text with /v. So it's going to identify the song again. There's another song running again by the same artist, so this is just something that's running in the background. This could be running in a completely different application while the shortcut runs in the background. So this is our first show result action. It shows you the search result URL that has been found. And now that we have split it with a /v, this is what we have, but I don't think this is what we need. I was hoping to see more, but that has not happened. So let's see what we can do next. So if I go to a YouTube video right now and take the URL from here and paste it on, let's just paste it on our text just to like kind of see it. I'm not gonna keep it here, I just want to see how it looks. So I can see, oh, there's no /v, it's a question mark v. So let's take this question v equals to, actually just do v equals to, and then we should be able to split it, and then we should be able to find this URL right here. Actually, we should be able to find this unique identifier. The LVQWMNN is like a unique identifier for every YouTube video that you watch, has a unique identifier that looks similar to that, has the same thing. So we need that for this shortcut. So let's see if we split it with a v equal to, what happens. Let's run the shortcut again. Sorry about that. This is kind of a dead stream because we just sit around and wait for the Shazam action to complete. It just takes forever. It's not my fault. I'm not saying that I could have been a better streamer because, like I said, this is my first time trying it. Okay, that's our second item, right? Actually, no. So let's get... So split text actually is results in a list. So we'll do a get item from list action. So we'll get the second item from list, so we know what we're getting right after. So we're gonna get the second item, or the last item. Let's run that and see what do we get. I wish I could just pass like a random variable into Shazam and get the results based on that. Actually, I could do that. Okay, the next time I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna remove my Shazam action, and in the text I'm just gonna hard code song. So let's just remove the Shazam action for now, and I'm just gonna write a song here. Let's call this song, what is this song that I know? Summer of 69. This is an old song by Bryan Adams, so that's what we should get. Let's see what happens. So we did get something. We did get a video. Let's see, what do we have? We gotta put a show result action. If you forget it, you will never know what your shortcut is doing. So we got the last item, and it's gonna show us the last item. Let's do it again. So it's gonna pull, that's the URL we're trying to break, and that's the last item because it needs to be split by. This is not working. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to split between this watch V and the DEFJJO underscore area. That is not working. So what can we do to make sure that it splits? First of all, I would actually like to get the URL out of it instead of the google.com URL, which is something that should happen on its own, but it's not happening. So let's do something. Let's make sure that it identifies something that is not a search result, and it contains the dash or slash watch, and then it should have a question mark, I think. Should have a question mark. I'm just looking at the comments if there are any. I don't know how many people are even watching at this point in time, to be honest. If there are any people, that is. Question mark, and then we have a V sign, and then we have an equal to sign. So at this point in time, I am 100% sure what my Google is pulling is a watch action. So, and we're going to repeat, well, I'm not going to show my repeat action, but I do want to see my index 2 action, or like my last action that shows my repeat action, that my split text that should show up after it has been split by V equals to. So let's run this again and see what do we get. Why did I remove the show result action again? Let's just put that back in. I don't know how did that go away. So show result, and here we run the shortcut again. Why is it running over and over again? Because it's not finding anything that is youtube.com/watch. Maybe it is beneficial to have the Shazam media. Let's do it again. Let's see what's happening. Oh my goodness, I forgot to turn off the do not show or show when running toggle. This is obnoxious to look at, but at least it's working because there's a song playing in the background that I should identify. That did not work. So it's not able to find anything that is not a URL. So let's do a show alert that says not found on YouTube in case it doesn't work. Let's see what happens this time. Okay. So that just tells you that it did not work. Okay. What is wrong here that is not able to find a YouTube link to the song? What did we do wrong? It is youtube.com/watch question mark and equal to, and V equal to. Did I miss anything? It's not able to find a URL that contains that. And why would that be happening? Okay, this is kind of anticlimactic thing. I was 100% sure. Maybe let's play a different song. Maybe what if that song is hard to identify that song? Let's see now. Oh wow, that did not go as planned. So let's go back to shortcuts. So open our shortcut again. Make sure the Shazam it has the show and run turned off because that's just obnoxious to look at. So let's go for it again. It did not work. I don't know, what did I do wrong. I'm just gonna remove the question mark and youtube.com. I'm just gonna go to the URL on a YouTube video. And, oh, this is my own live stream, so I'm just gonna go to a YouTube video here. Let's see. And I'm gonna pull a URL from here because I don't trust anything right now. So let's just go here. Where's the... So I play this video and I get the URL from here. I copy it in. So let's stop this video because I don't want to be stealing other people's content. Let's close that. Let's get back to our shortcut and repeat item that contains this exact form of URL. I don't need that part, but I need the rest of it. So let's see if I run it, what happens now. This is kind of not what I was hoping for. Shazam does not identify any song. That's because nothing is playing. That's dumb of me. So I'm gonna go back to YouTube Music and play music. Since the volume is kind of maxed out, but it is being casted onto a different thing, nothing can be heard, as you can hear from the microphone here. So Shazam identifies the song that is playing in the background without any issues. Hopefully that continues. And they did not identify a link that contains YouTube Music. So let's cancel that and figure out what's going on here. So let's just say just remove the HTTPS and just keep youtube.com. This is what we had previously, but I'm hoping that I did something that was not right at the time that I have figured out by now. Nope, it did not find any more URLs either. Okay, so what this says contains, like, I know for a fact that something contains, so I'm just gonna like show results at my URL pages. So this will pull up all the URLs that are there. Oh my goodness, it broke again. As if this was not enough, iOS 15.1 is acting up. Alright. Let's see what happens now. Okay, we got 33 results out of 33 results. Did not show me any. We got 46 results this time. Let's see them as a list. I see songs that are like from youtube.com/watch. I think what's happening is we don't have the /v equals to. Instead, we have a V and a %3D. I like this is kind of tripping me up, is because I don't know if the 3 is the part of the URL code or is it something else. I wish I could expand these URLs, like, you know how like when you redirect, let's see if there's an action to expand URLs. Not that happy right now. Expand. Oh, there it is. Expand URL. So with each repeat item, we're gonna expand it first, and then we're gonna no, actually we cannot expand with repeat. We're gonna have to expand each item before we check if it contains. So we're gonna see expand URL. See what happens here. Repeat with each item in the URL, and then we're going to expand the repeat item, and then if the repeat item contains youtube.com, this, let's see how that goes. So it's still identifying the song that is playing in the background. We do have 47 results, and let's see how that goes now. I did not find the song again. Oh my goodness, this is weird. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to show the expanded URL every single time and see what happens. Can I identify what the issue is here? So it's still playing music in the background, so that's not a huge deal. I wish I knew what was wrong and this was much smoother, but this is not faking it, as you can very well see. I got 42 URLs, but are any of those important to me? This is not my URL. I want something that says youtube.com. Yes, I want to continue. Again, same thing. Oh wow. You don't even expand it this time. Oh, this is just a search URL. What is happening here? I want to see the expanded URL. Okay, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to remove the other show result actions, and I'm only going to see the expanded URL. See how that goes. Okay, the music's still playing in the background. This song is called Spark. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I do have a google.com result. Yes, I want to continue. I do have another google.com result. Do have another google.com result. This is not what we're looking for. Something's going wrong here. None of the URL is getting expanded. So what we can do here is get URLs, and we're going to get them as URL and see if that changes anything. Instead of getting them as text, get URLs from the contents of the web page, and the web page is a URL. And these were as URL, and now these are also URL. Let's see how that goes. It's one. That didn't work. That didn't have youtube.com in it. Oh my goodness, I was hoping this would be a much simpler shortcut to build than what it has turned into, and I was hoping that this would be easy and we would be able to pull out the YouTube URL directly from our search results, but doesn't seem like that's happening. I would hate to say this, but I think I will have to end the stream by not building the shortcut. And if I'm able to build a shortcut, I will leave a link in the description below that contains the actual shortcut. Just hate how this is not working as I thought it should. This is just thinking through it again. So we Shazam the shortcut, we get the media, and we encode the URL, the media. Oh man. We encode the media, and the media is taken as Shazam media. Let's see if I take that as a text. Does that change anything? shouldn't, but who cares? At this point in time, I don't even know what should work and shouldn't work, so why not? Okay, that's a google.com result. That's useless. That is not... Oh my goodness. I'm just going to cancel it and see if there's another problem. Man, don't you guys hate it when Shazam... Well, when Scribble just does not work the way it should? It's just so obnoxious. So we're going to encode the song details like a URL. And it's going to take it as a text. So that's easy. That's not a problem at all. And then want to search Google. So that's Google. And then there's a plus YouTube. Should there be like a space in here somewhere? Let's see. Let's go back to Safari actually. Where is Safari? Here you are. Let's search for something. And then let's put plus here. Actually, let's search for something. And then we got something. And then let's edit the URL. Copy and edit the URL right here. And we're going to remove all of this BS that exists here. Oh man, can't type. I want to remove everything. And we're just going to put a plus sign and put YouTube and see what our results look like. Maybe it's not what I thought it would be. See, that's what I'm saying. The first song, the first link here is this link. And this is what I'm trying to extract. And why is this not working? Like, what is wrong with this? Because it just searched for something space YouTube. Okay. So we get contents of a web page, and the web page is a URL, which it should be. Makes perfect sense. Okay, URLs from the contents of a web page. We get URLs from the contents of a web page, and the web page is submitted as a URL. So let's submit web page as a web page. Let's see how that goes. Web page, where is it? Maps link file, iTunes media date, Boolean article. Nope, none of these things work. So what do I do? Should I just use a rich text? Maybe. And repeat with each item in URLs. So this is with each item. So let's clear this variable. I'm going to select this again. Get URLs. Repeat with each item of URLs. Okay. With each item, we want to expand that item first. Expand it and then show that expanded URL. Oh, so instead of expanded URL, I'm using repeat item. So if I select magic variable here, I want to use the expanded URL. That's what it is. Oh man. I wish I knew that much faster. Let's see if this works. Again, this is supposed to be expanded URL as well. Maybe this is why people say that you should name your variables, but that didn't. I don't know if that would have helped in this scenario. It was just me being dumb. So is there music still playing? Yep, there's music still playing. Let's see how it goes. So that's our expanded URL. That's useless. Yes, I still want to continue. Let's see if I can find another one that contains it. That is not it. That's just my YouTube search URL. Yes, I want to continue. Actually, I'm going to remove this do you want to continue result. I want to just run it and see how long it takes before it finds that first URL. It's obnoxious, but it should be able to find it. Yep, that's not it. That's not it. It's not it. It's not it. Actually, I'm fairly confident at this point in time that I'm going to stop it, and I'm just going to remove the show expanded URL option and put it inside if it matches. So I'm fairly certain that it's going to have a match this time. It's going to take a minute. It's going to go through the entire link. Oh, yes. See? We found a URL. Finally. So now that we have that URL, we're going to split that URL by the v equal to thing. So instead of showing the expanded URL, I'm just going to clear that variable and show the last item. Let's see, item from list. Oh man, if this was not iOS 15, this would have gone way more smoothly. Okay, let's continue doing this again. See where we're at. We should be able to get the unique identifier of a YouTube video that we need, and that's what we have here. So this VNS_CC_TDBPC is the URL for this exact song that is playing right now. All right. Now that we have that, we want to open the URL in YouTube Music. So if I go to YouTube Music right now and get the URL for this song by going to share, copy link, and let's just come back to shortcuts and like paste it here just to take a look at it. We're not going to keep it here, but we're going to take a look at it. So you can see how a URL looks. The URL has the HTTPS stuff, and it has the watch.equal to thing, and then it has that little bit of like identifier, and then it has this like nonsense BS feature stuff that we do not care about at all. So we're going to remove this part for sure that we don't need, and we're going to remove this part as well because this is going to be variable. This is going to be something that we add based on the song that's been identified. So let's take this thing and copy it, actually cut it this time because we don't want it to be here. We want the entire thing to be, how do you cut it? I forgot. Nope, that's not it. It's a 3-finger pinch. Nope, that's a copy. That's a paste. Anyways, we have a copy. Just remove it, I guess. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. Now we have the URL. We want to combine the general URL and the unique identifier that we have found. So we're going to bring a URL action right after our show item from list. I'm going to paste what we just copied from the share option on YouTube Music. So this is our YouTube Music URL. What we need here is our item from list. That's going to be our code for what video there is. So we're going to put that here. So let's put that here. And now we want to open that URL. I know my music is playing in YouTube Music, so that's not helpful at all. So let's do something else for that right now. Let's go to Safari. Actually, let's not go to Safari. Let's actually go to what apps do I have that can play music? Not really anything. So let's go to Safari. We have the URLs right here. So we did search for something by Beatles, so let's play that right now. And it's gonna play in the YouTube app. We don't want that. We want to play here. In order to do that, you just hold the link and you click on open in background. It's not gonna navigate to the app that it belongs to. So let's just hit play. Okay. So that song has started playing, and this one's called Repeat with Each. So let's just run this shortcut and see where it takes us. This should open the YouTube Music app with that exact song playing in YouTube Music as a video. Okay, we're going to allow the permissions because we've never ran this before. Oh my goodness, this is working. This is perfect. All right. So we have the song playing. I mean, it started the video. I would have liked it to be in the audio song, but the method that I've chosen, it's only going to play the video. Oh, this is not something that I was expecting to happen so easily. Well, now that it has happened, I don't know. Can you do this to run a Spotify song maybe? Like you can start it on Spotify. So instead of going and searching a link to YouTube, you just search a link to Spotify. And in case of Spotify, you don't have two applications. There's no Spotify Music and a Spotify Video, so you should be able to just do it as like get one link and open that link directly That should be a simpler shortcut. Maybe I can make a video about that one. I will make a video about this shortcut for sure, because I think it's a very helpful shortcut. Especially like if you're watching something on TikTok and this is what is like trying to identify a song. Let me see if I can find something. Let's say, so I'm looking at my phone right now. I want to see if there's a way for me to just like, I want to identify a sound from Spotify, from TikTok, let's say, but I don't have access to the actual sound that somebody played. But I don't know how that's going to go because it's somebody else's content that is on my stream. I'm not very comfortable with like showing that. But maybe I can. But this is ideal for those scenarios. Like if you're on Instagram and somebody put a music behind what they were listening to or what they were watching, or somebody uploaded a video where there's like background music, you want to identify that. This is ideal for that scenario. And if it repeats over and over again, that's even better. Like in a TikTok video or like 30-second videos just repeat over and over again. So it's going to continue playing that song until Shazam identifies it. So how you would go about that is, first of all, let's just rename this thing. We name it called Identify Song. Okay. I don't care too much about what icons show up, so I'm not too worried about that. So I don't want to do split screen because that's not representative of how this works in a phone scenario. But in the meantime, let me see if I can actually take the link to this shortcut and put it in the chat so other people who care about this can also play with this. So I'm going to copy the link, and I don't know how to access my own stream, to be honest with you guys. Let's see, can I? If I go to home screen, I think I saw my own page. Oh man, this is obnoxious. This is why you don't go to beta versions of iOS. Alright, this is my own stream, and I'm gonna put it in the chat here. Hopefully Google doesn't remove it. Let's go. Here's the link, right? Alright. Alright, so let's go to YouTube and let's play something here. Let's play some music. I don't know, go to Explore, maybe go to music, right? This opens the YouTube Music app. So but there has to be some songs that are here, right? It's usually entertainment, maybe. Movies and shows, news, No, usually Explore has a ton of like music-based songs, but it does not today. Wow. So I'm just gonna put top 40, right? That brings up a list of songs, so that's a song, I guess. Easy on Me by Adele. And I go back to my shortcuts, I run the shortcut, and I don't stay in that app. I come here. Now my expectation is that this song is going to be identified and is going to be put onto YouTube. Well, this song is not even playing, so that's useless. Alright, so let's not do that. Maybe I can just do it to the camera and you guys can see it here. Let me first unlock my phone. Okay, the same song, same playlist, same song. I'm gonna play this song right here. This song is playing. I can see it, right? I mean, it's not focusing, but who even cares at this point in time? It's just to show you that it is working as we thought it would. Okay, I can make it focus. Anyways, the song's playing right now. Actually, a different song started playing. So let's play this Lil Nas X song. This Lil Nas X song is playing. We go to our shortcuts. Where's our shortcuts? We go to our shortcuts, and we click on identify this song. We click on it. Oh man, I'm like all over the place. Let me go back to the shortcuts. It says no results identified. Oh man, that's useless. So let me just play Adele's song again and bring it a little further because I don't know what's happening in the music video. And then I go back to shortcuts, I click on identify song, and I go back to my mute video. And what I expect to happen is that this is going to look at the song and it's going to identify the song, and this is being played in the YouTube Music app, or the YouTube app, and this should identify the song and open it in the YouTube Music app. That has not happened yet. I don't know why that is not happening. It says Shazam did not recognize any media. Maybe Shazam's kind of slow and I cannot play a new song. Maybe let's just play an old song. Since I'm here with Adele, I'll just go to Adele's page to find an older song by Adele. But man, Adele has had so much music, I had no idea about it. Rolling in the Deep is a 10-year-old song. If this doesn't get identified, nothing else will get identified on Shazam. So let's go, click on identify song, get back to our YouTube app, wait for it to identify the song, right? I mean, it should just go take me to my YouTube Music app. That's what I wanted to do, but it doesn't seem like it's working like that. Well, I guess we cannot do that. But on the bright side, let me just increase the volume on this song just a little bit so I can show it to you. If it works, let's say. I'm gonna increase the volume, but I'm gonna mute myself, so let's see what happens. Okay, so it at least works like that. It at least works in a way that I anticipate using it is if I'm at a mall or if I'm at a store and some form of music is playing, I can actually run this thing, identify the song, and it will play it on YouTube Music where I can like the video, and that will be stored in my library for however long I want it to. Well, that's something that is half working. I was hoping I should be able to identify songs that are playing on TikTok or stuff like that, but that has not happened. So yeah, I got 70% of the success because that was the intended purpose. We were able to make the shortcut. It took way longer than I thought it would. I was hoping that this would be maybe a 30-minute stream and a 30-minute shortcut, but it has lasted longer. So thank you everybody for watching. I think there are 2 people that were watching, so you guys are the troopers. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. And there are 2 more people other than me who's streaming my own stream. Kind of desperate, but yeah. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. This is Geet.